Hi and welcome to Studio SN. My name is Sara Naumann and today I'm going to show you a spray and stencil technique. Stencils and sprays are a super fun combination for card making, even though they do tend to get a little bit messy. It's worth it. On this card I use two different stencils and two different colors of spray. So let me show you how I put this together. First, you'll notice that I've got my work surface covered with Ranger's craft sheets, and these are virtually covering every item and surface in my work studio. It really makes cleanup a lot easier. The second thing I'm going to do is bring in a repurposed box. Next time you get some books in the mail, hang on to those boxes because you can pull them apart and use them to spray onto. You can see that I've used this one quite a lot. And I'm going to spray onto a heavyweight cardstock, and this is just a plain white. It's not textured, but it is a heavier weight so that it can accept the spray really nicely. And I'll start with my first stencil. This is a 6x6 stencil from Crafter's Workshop, and this is the Tiny Circles. This is from Julie Faye Fan Balzer. I'm going to put this down and just hold it down for now. The spray I'm using is Dylusions from Ranger, and this is the Vibrant Turquoise. And before I spray, I want to tell you a couple of tips for using this. First of all, you'll notice that the name is Vibrant Turquoise, and it is vibrant. All of the Dylusions colors are super, super vibrant, which is great. They make super backgrounds. But you do need to keep in mind, this is going to sound like a real no-brainer, but the nozzle tip should be pointed at your paper. So this is the nozzle. This is where the color is going to come out. And again, I know it sounds like a no-brainer, but the nozzle is not always lined up with the label. So, you can turn that around if that helps with the orientation, but sometimes people assume that if you're holding this label front, that's where the nozzle goes. So unless you want a vibrant turquoise table, couch, child, you want to make sure that you know exactly where that nozzle is pointing. The second tip is going to be to press with confidence. Where I see things getting really blobby and too much color can be when people are either not pressing firmly enough on that nozzle, or they're either holding the bottle too close or too perpendicular to their work surface. So I always hold this at an angle and back about 6 to 8 inches. Because you can always go back and add more color, but you can't take it away. My third tip for this is to give it a couple of practice rounds before you go into your real project, especially if you're using paper that's a little bit more expensive or harder to get. So hold it back, give it a practice round, and press with confidence. So I'm going to take my Vibrant Turquoise, pull down my stencil, and at an angle, about 6 inches away, give it a blast. And then I'll come back with a roll of paper towel. And this is a trick that I learned from Diane Reevely, who developed the Dylusions line. She keeps her paper towel, or kitchen roll as she calls it, on the roll, and then just reuses this again and again. And it actually works really, really well. So then I can lift off my stencil and you can see the result. Now I did get a little blob in there, but I actually kind of like that. So I need to let this dry. It doesn't take very long at all. And I want to add another color and another stencil. So I'm going to bring back my second stencil, and this is the Quatrefoil. This is Rhonda Palizzari. And you can tell by the shape of this stencil and the fact that there's dried on pink and blue paint that I use it quite a lot. I like this one a lot. And I want to keep these two areas separate. So when I come back with my second color, I don't want to over color this. So I've taken a piece of scrap paper and I tore a couple of the edges, because when I put this down as a mask, I don't really want it to be a super defined line between the two colors. Otherwise it will look like, it'll look like this. So you have a really definite line there, and I don't really want that. So I've got a torn piece of paper, and then I'm going to slip my stencil under here. Again, hold it down, come in with my crushed grape at an angle, and give a couple of blasts. And then also roll with my paper towel. And you can see how much got on here. And you can see how much got on my hands. This is what your hands are going to look like after I go with this. So then I can remove these, and you can see that I've got a really nice variegated definition between there, so that it's not too blunt. And I actually did get a little bit of purple down here too, kind of a kickback of that spray. So let me move out my inky surface, and I'll bring back in my card and show you just a little bit more about how I put this card together. I had that really nice definition between the two patterns, so I decided to emphasize that. And I put down 2 little pieces of washi tape. There's a stripe there and a purple. And then I tied a knot in a piece of satin ribbon and looped that around and taped it to the back before I matted it onto teal cardstock. This little area down here, this is a stamp from Savvy Stamps. And I just stamped it onto white cardstock. And then I decided to bring in a 1 3/4 inch circle punch. And I didn't punch it out completely, so it's not the entire circle. I did a section of it. Let's see if I can position this. Press that, and then I have my semicircle, and I can just put that down onto my card front like so. And I did not ink around the outside edge of that. I wanted that to just stand out the way it is. A couple of other things about this card. I decided to go with 2 very contrasting colors, so the turquoise and the crushed grape. But I think this could also look really pretty if you went with a tone-on-tone color combination. So maybe if you had a yellow and an orange, or shades of brown, or shades of a lighter color. I went with really bright and vivid colors, and I think it looks really nice. The other thing is that when you have so much going on in terms of color and background on the sprayed background piece, you can keep the rest of your card design pretty simple. You don't need to add a whole lot of embellishments because this will already be the star of your card. And you can choose to emphasize that definition between the two like I did, or you can let it blend. You can also add more color on top of it too. So whether you go for bright and zingy, or you want to do something a little bit more muted, the spray and stencil technique will work. So this is how to use spray and stencil together. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the segment. For more inspiration, please stop on by my website at saranaumann.com. Thank you again for watching, and I will see you next time.